Everyone, it's your boy, Spidey Robin Gaming here. That sounds so terrible when I say that. Sounds so childish. You there, Aiden? Hello? Aiden. Did you just die?
Go away.
What happened?
Just
What happened,
continue
Aiden?
your story time.
What did you do, Aiden?
Bro, just continue your story time.
Is it bleeding?
No, just continue your story time.
So basically, there was this bus driver. His name was Mr. Lindsay. And this motherfucker, he was black. And basically what happened was, every time, like, he used to be basically, I considered him to be a friend. Like, he was a good bus driver. And basically around the 4th grade, like, this man would give us presents and shit. This man was the best man I've ever met up to that point. He was just the best person you could ever imagine. And come 4th grade, I get on the bus, and we start making conversation. Along the conversation, I hear, "Don't talk back." And I'm like, wait, what? Oh, and another thing about Mr. Lindsay was that he was a substitute bus driver, and he was an intern for a while. That's how we met. And like, I'm like, what, I'm not talking back, I'm just answering you. He says, no, you're talking back right now, don't talk back to me. And I'm like, okay. And I just like, I sit down, I don't talk to him. Like, what? And I get back on, he says, hey, and I say, hey. And he says, why are you talking back? And I'm like, I'm not talking back. And this continues for so long. And I used to put my feet up on the seat. And whenever he would just say, whenever I talk to him, don't talk back, don't talk back. And I'm like, and he wrote me up so many times for talking back to him. Literally, so many times. It got to the point where I hated Mr. Lindsay's guts. Like, I used to love this man, no homo. And, oh my god, like, this guy, like, basically, this continues for the entire fucking year. Of him just, whenever I try and talk, whenever he talks to me, like, and sometimes when he even expects an answer, and, like, I talk back, and he says, don't talk back, and I'm like, what the fuck, I'm not even being disrespectful. It got to the point where one day I'm like, okay, Mr. Lindsay, I'm not talking back to you, I'm just answering your question. And then the instant I start talking after, like, he gets interrupted me, and he says, don't talk back to me. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, I fucking hate your guts now. Like, you're a bastard. You suck. You're a bitch. I didn't say that to him, but I was definitely thinking it. And then it got to the point where I remember this vividly. It was like I had gotten written up. I'm almost to the point to bus expulsion because of this shit. And my mom comes up on him because I've been talking shit to my mom, like, and my dad, and like. My dad said if this would have been him, then he would have whooped Mr. Lindsay's ass for this. This was at the time I was like 55, so, and like Mr. Lindsay was like around that same age, so it would have been an actual fight. And I'm pretty sure my dad would have won because he had a lot of muscle back then. So my mom comes up and they start conversating. And I'm like, okay, my mom's like, he's not going to tell my mom not to talk back to him. And he says, this is what he said. He said, so basically, I have all these bus reports I haven't turned in to the principal, and I was wondering if we could work something out. And then I say, I don't remember what I said, but I was not talking back, and I said, and I'm pretty sure I was talking to my mom. I may have been talking to Mr. Lindsay, I'm not sure. And I say, I'm just going to say I was talking to my mom. Like, no, I was just talking to Mr. Lindsay. And I said, Mr. Lindsay, I try to explain to him what I was doing. I say, Mr. Lindsay, I'm not being disrespectful or anything, but you've been, like, whenever I try and answer you, you always say I'm talking back and light me up for it. And he said, see, he's talking back. And then, or something like that. I know I wasn't talking back. That might not have been it, but I know I wasn't talking back to him. There was no way in hell, even to a strict parent, that this would have been talking back. There's no way in hell this could be talking back. And then, here's the thing that I remember vividly. My mom said this, well, Mr. Lindsay, with all due respect, and this is exactly what she said, I don't think that that's considered talking back. And he just says, "You're talking back," with a big look on his face, like a surprised look. And he said, "Alright, I'm gonna take these bus reports and I'm gonna turn them in right now when I get back to school." And he says, and my mom starts crying, saying some shit, embarrassing me in the process because there's a few people on the bus. And then like, he's just like, alright, I won't turn them in, but you better not fuck up again, well, mess up again. And, this wasn't just with me, but it was focused on me. Like, I remember Caitlin got into a little bit of trouble with Mr. Lindsay. Even the police was called one time. I'm pretty sure he called, like, 911, or a police officer pulled us over and he got on the bus and he says, "I'm gonna take you. The next person I see in here is coming out of cuffs. If your bus driver if you're interrupting the bus driver again." We pretty much agreed. Like, I'm not sure if he called the police or if the police officer was just there, but that happened. Mr. Lindsay was an asshole, and like on the last day when I went to YPA, I was just the biggest dick I could possibly be. I was the biggest fucking dick you could possibly imagine. I was actually talking back to this man, and I was even lightweight cussing him out. And he says, you know, he said, "I'm writing you up." And I said, "Good, write me up, because I'm going to a new school, and I don't gotta worry about that." And he says, "Oh, really? Well, I'm gonna send, the bus report will still be valid in the other school." And I'm saying, "Well, I'm gonna be a car rider, so I don't got shit to worry about." And he's like, I didn't say shit, but like I said, I don't gotta worry about nothing. That's how it phrased that, I'm pretty sure. And he's just like, "Well, when you get on the bus, this'll be it."
I have the best idea.
I'm telling a story time.
No, I'm just like, for the role play, I have the best idea.
But you heard what I said. That's bullshit, ain't it, Layton?
Yep.
Like, just absolute bullshit. Mr. Lindsay's a dick. I hope he's dead.
Well, no, that's not nice.
Yeah, but you started talking about talking back and shit, and that just reminded me of Mr. Lindsay. So, you know how it is.
It was a calling.
I actually wanted to punch Mr. Lindsay in the face when he made my mom cry. I wanted to punch him in the face.
Moms cry, and think you can get away with it.
Nowadays, I would probably fight Mr. Lindsay at this point. Like, now I ain't about to put up with that shit. Like, you ain't about to do this for literally an entire year and expect not to get punched in the face. I don't care. You ain't gonna do that. Even if I do hate my mom, you ain't gonna make her cry. Because you don't know I don't hate my mom. You think it's just a normal mom. So why the hell? What the fuck, man? What would you do to the bus driver who made your mom cry?
Hey, I'm gonna slap you.
Yeah. It's pretty fucked up. And I think that, like, the back talk was centered around me. Like, no one else really back talked except Caitlin. And like, my fucking vice principal, hated me. So I think she paid Mr. Lindsay to do that shit to me. Also, the vice principal at the time also was Jason's aunt, the bully. So, yeah, that's probably the reason. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.